Hello, and welcome to the WizKid channel. Welcome back. And today, I have puns. Alright, why do they call it a shoe? Because parents tell their kids to shoo or get away. Why do they call it an eye? Because it's yours. Why do they call it underwear? Because you wear it in the under regions. Why do they call it hair? Because you inherit it from your parents. Why do they call it a minute? Because it's a small amount of time. It's a minute amount of time. Why do they call it an issue? Because it's yours and you may sue about it. Why do they call it scarce? Because it's scary to think of things not being produced fast enough. Why do they call it a binder? Women use them a lot. Why do they call it fancy? Because you can see fans adoring you. Why do they call it a passage? Because it takes ages to get through. Why do they call it a sock? You put something solid in it and hit someone. Why do they call it a commission? It takes a mission to come to you. Ha 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 ha. Why do they call it circumstances? Circumstances. Because it's a circular way of you standing. Why do they call it earnest? It stays on your ear and you never think about it because what they said was stupid. Yes, yes. Why do they call it a wander? Because you wonder why they keep going places. Why do they call it a night? Because they fight at night. Ha, ha. Why do they call it a watch? Because you look at it. Why do they call it a skill? Because you can kill someone if you learn it. Why do they call it television? Because it televises vision. Why do they call it a pot? Because it's what you make drugs with. Why do they call it a headset? Because you put it on your head. Why do they call it a trash can? It's a can for trash. Why do they call it a tool? It's what you hit a dumb person with. Why do they call it a gumball? Because it's a ball of gum, duh. Why do they call it a mixer? It mixes things. Why do they call it a stare? You have to look at it, or you may miss and fall. Why do they call it an outlet? Because it lets out electricity. Why do they call it a toothbrush? Because you brush your teeth. Why do they call it a ham radio? That's a good question. It's where you order food. Why do they call it slippers? Because you slip them on her. Why do they call it a bat? It's what you kill an animal with. Why do they call it a creeper? It's a creepy-er. I said creepers. It's a creepy-er. Why do they call it badminton? Because it's bad to use mittens. Why do they call it a crocodile? Because it steals things, also known as a crocodile. Why do they call it a pork chop? Because you chop pork. Why do they call it a match? Because it pairs good with wood. Why do they call it a pickle? It's hard to open the jar. Yes. Why do they call it a horse? Because they can't talk. Why do they call it coffee? Because it costs to cough. Now I owe money. Why do they call it a suitcase? It's where you put your suit. Why do they call it a plant? You put it in the ground. That is it. Thank you. Subscribe, like, and I hope to see you in the next one. This is WizKid, signing out.